Hello, welcome to the series of HackerRank interview preparation kit. This is the fifth video in the series and the last video in the array subdivision, that is array. So this is array manipulation. This particular problem is marked as hard. However, I think it's a very simple problem, but due to the time complexity issues, it becomes hard. So in this case, I'll help you guys to solve this particular problem in O of n time. So let's start with the problem. So in this question, what they have given is we have an array and they give us the index, let's say in this case 1 and 5. So they want us to increase or add 3 to the given index, that is between 1 to 5. So you can see that between 1 to 5 for this particular range 3 has been added. Okay, then second query says that between 4 and 8 they want to add 7. So you start with 4 and till the 8 you add 7. So this is the case, and because it was 3 earlier here on the 4th and 5th index, the sum has risen to 10. So after that another operation is between 6th and 9th index. So you start with the 6th index, so there was 7 earlier, you want to add 1, so 7 plus 1 8, and all till way to the index 9. So we want to create this final array, and after that the question asks us to find the maximum value of that given array. So if you if you know array transversal, this is a very easy problem, as I said earlier. However, due to time complexity, we have to think like out of box or differently. So let's start with the approach, and I'll be taking the example, this example 5 3 1 to 100. So let's start. So let's start with the problem. This is number of elements in the array. This is queries, and these are the indexes, like inclusive indexes, for which we have to update the value. So in this case, let me create the array. So this will be, so we generally have we have indexing start from 0. So but in this case, what question have given us the values from 1. So in this case we can choose to create an array from 1 to onwards, like update the values for the same, or we can choose to have the 0 in our array and then populate it with any minus value, so that it cannot, it won't be taking place in all the operations. So I'll update value of 0 to minus 3000. So okay, after that let's go with the queries. So we want to update our index from 1 to 2 with the 100. So this value will become 100 index, and this is 100 as well. So all the values are previously set to the zeros. So while initializing, we'll make sure that we are initializing all the values to the 0, or we can declare it globally. So this can become 0, or we can choose mean set function as well, that can set values to 0 or minus 1. After that let's go to the second query. Second query asks us to set the values from index 2 to 5. So we'll add 100 here, 100 100 and 100. Okay, now our array looks like something like 100, and this value is changed to 200, and all the remaining values are still with the 100, and last 100. Okay, so we'll start with the third query and last query. We want to update values of 3 and 4 with 100. So we'll come at 3, I'll add 100 here, and for 4 we'll add 100 as well. Okay, so the final array for all the operation would look like this: 100, 200, 200, 200 and 100. And after this we need to find the maximum value from the array. So what we can do is we we can directly transfer from the array, checking if the given value is maximum than the last value, and so on. So we can check maximum value and we will return the maximum value, and hence that will be the solution of this particular problem. However, in this case, if you go by this like brute force or naive approach, you will be timed out, and that's why we need to improvise. So we have one solution like range update, or we can call it difference array, that will make our life much easier in order to in cases where we need to solve array or update the queries. Okay, let's start with the second approach. In this approach, we can call this as a range update method or difference array, where we'll calculate the sum. So watch carefully what we will do in this case. For all three queries, the first index for which we have to input the value, will input the value. Let's say for first index we need to input 100. So what will we do? We'll basically input or enter 100 into the first index. Okay, no brainer, plain simple. So, and at the last index, or like what we did in the previous case was that we added 100 for both the cases. However, in this case we won't do that. What we will do is, the last index what we have been provided in the question, we'll simply add 1 to that, and in this particular index, so 2 is given in the question, so at 3 we want to update as -100 or the given value, or C, that A, B, C. So we want to minus C from that particular index. So let me show you how this works. So as I said, we input 100 at first index, and we won't do anything for 2, but at third index we'll add -100. So how may some may think how will this work? So let me show you. So if we find all the sum for the first pass or first query, this will look like, let me show you. So this will be 0, this will be 100, and what we'll do is we'll use all the sum or previous sum. So what let's say i's or j is our index, so we'll initialize j with sum of all the previous elements. So we can write something similar to this, sum of or array of I, and we'll iterate I from first index to the last. So what we'll basically do is, we'll for first index we'll check sum from the previous indexes and then add it to the 1. So for at 0th index we don't have a value. Let's say I have added 3000, but we can do with the 0. So first index we have 100. For second index it doesn't have any value, so this is 0 plus previous value, that is 100. So this will be 100. At third index we'll add this value and index value to the previous sum. So previous sum is 100 plus minus 100, so this will give us the 0. Okay, for fourth we'll add this value. So at in the start all the indexes are like initialized with 0, so 4 has value 0, and it will add 3's value. So 3 is currently having 0, so this will have again 0 and 0. So this is similar to this particular pass here. Okay, so let's go with the second pass. So let me, okay, this will do. So in the second query we need to update 100 in index 2 to 5. So what we can do is, as of now let me clear, or I can do is, so this was for only illustration purpose. So as of now our array still stays at here. So let me rewrite this. So 100 and minus 100, these are the two values in our array. Okay, so now we want our array to be updated by 100 in the index 2 to 5. So at index 2 we'll update the value 100, and will check value or update the value at as I said earlier, last index plus 1. However, in this case we have only 6 indexes and this is 0 based index, so this particular value exceeds our case. Okay, so we can't we won't be able to update our value here. So what we can basically do is we'll add a loop, let's say if loop, and we'll let's say add a condition like here. This is A, this is B, and the last one is C. So we'll add something similar to it. If B plus 1 is less than or equal to number of given elements, so that will do. So number of given elements is 5. So as long as we are getting index 5, we'll do all this operation which we are going to do, and if not, we won't do. Okay, so for this case we won't do anything for the last index as we did here for -100. So okay, so this is the second pass. So what will happen after the second pass? Let's calculate. So as I told you earlier, what we will be doing is we'll simply adding the last index's value. So this will stand at 0, no difference with that. This value again will be the 100. Okay, and this value will now been populated with 100. It will add, we will add this value to its previous value. So this will become 200 plus. Now this particular index at 3, we have value -100. We'll add 200 to it. So this will become 100. And after this there are no changes. So all the values will be 100 and 100, remaining two values. So you can see that this is similar to the second pass, this value. However, we only inserted 2 times. So in this particular value we were inserting at these many values, 4 times values. However, we did this in 2 values. So this might look simple because our range is very slow. However, in the question, if you see the question or constraint, the values in the range of 10 to the power 7. So this is not even comes under the int value. So we need to take long. So so let's say if we have to input or values for the 10 to the power 7. So this is the massive operation. However, this can be avoided by only inserting 2 elements. Okay, so let's go with the third and last case. So for third case, so this was our value. So in last case we will be adding value 100 at third index. So at third index, let me go, I'll add 100 here. So this will become 200. And I'll add 100 at fourth. So as I told earlier, we'll add 1 to it. So this will become 5, and at fifth index we'll subtract the given value. So at fifth value we'll subtract given value. So this will become 100 minus 100. So this, as of now, this will look like a big 0. Okay, so we'll calculate the sum for the given array. So we won't be doing sum at the intermediate stages like this and this. I only showed this for the illustration purpose. We only find the sum at the last part. So, and we don't even find we don't even have to find the sum. We can directly find the maximum values by this. So even like for the illustration, let we find the sum. So this will look like, let's say 0, and here we are having from 1 to 5. So this will look like 100 to then we add this value. So that is another 100, 200, 200, so this is again 200, and last value is 100. Because this is 100 and this is 0, will after adding this will become 100. So let's move ahead with the code, and I'll show you the code. So let me summarize before coding for this particular problem. So because of the constraints, we would be using long, either long or long int. So this is one case. Second would be our if case, where if b exceeds, or the last index, that index is greater, index plus 1 that is greater than that of n, we won't do anything. So let me write that. So we need to keep this particular condition in mind, and yeah, that's the necessary stuff. And one more thing, if you are creating a normal array or traditional array, you need to create a one more space for your array. So okay, these things are required. So let's start with the code. So this is our basic skeleton, and here, so let me declare the value long a b c, and then we have a number size of array, that is n, and number of queries. So let's take that as q. So while q minus minus, we want to take input for all the three values, that is a b c. After that, as I told you earlier, we'll check for the condition and also insert value at the given index. So we need to create an array, so we can directly create a vector here. So let's create a vector int, call it array. Okay, so we want to populate our array index a with the given value. Okay, after that, we'll check if our b plus 1 value is less than that of n, and if only if with this condition satisfies, we will do array b and we'll subtract this value, we'll subtract c from that value. Okay, this is done. So this will be done for all the cases, and our array will be created with the values. And after this, okay, I missed this value, b plus 1. Okay, now we need to create two variables, that is, one is max, and you can take another variable, let's say sum or value, this won't matter. So let's initialize with the 0, and I would like to initialize max with minus 3000. Okay, now let's go ahead with our plan, and let's create a for loop for the transversal. So I'll be taking long I because values are high, and I'll start transversing from the first value, because at 0th index we don't have anything constructive, so it is less than that of en. I will be incrementing this, and as I told you, sum would be the value which will take all the previous elements into its account. Okay, so sum will be this value, and I'll check if given sum is greater than that of max, I want to assign maximum value to the sum. So max will sum. So this is basic finding maximum value from the given array code. So that's it. So let me see out max value. So let's check if this works. Okay, max minus 3 and okay, what did I do wrong? Okay, so I forgot to take the input, and I wrote the cin value. So let's do this again. So you can see that I'm having a runtime error, and I kept this by intention. So I want to show you that. So if we, because vectors are dynamic, even though if we have created vector, we did not initialize with the 0 value. So what we can do is we'll assign the values n plus 1, that is, we need to have those many values, and we'll initiate have the value 0 plus the values which we are going to store in our vector could be of long. So let's check now if this works. Okay, this works. Let me try to submit it, and let me remove those. Okay, it passes all the test cases. Thank you. And if there was any issue, so you can tell me in the comment box, and if you think I can improve on anything in any for code or any speaking ability or something, do let me know so I can improve on my part. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.